when a young soldier like myself, or non-soldier, I joined at the age of 17, and the war in Iraq was just kicking off. Afghanistan wasn't really, it was in the news, but it wasn't really in the news, so it was like a new thing, and it was a lot of excitement and ambition to actually join the army and actually go and get involved. And then I did all my training, no problem. And my corporal, who took me all through my training, at the end of my training, a week before we were to pass out, he left to go. He was deployed to Iraq, sorry. And then I passed out of training and had about 2 weeks leave, and then when I entered my regular unit, I learned that he'd been killed in Iraq, in Basra, and that was the first sort of eye-opener that I had.
Yeah.
And then from that moment then, there was just man after man after man after woman after man that were killed, and it was in the news frantically, like all the time, which was hard, because eventually when I finished all my training, I knew I couldn't get out, and I had to go and serve my unit, and I knew that I was going to end up in a war zone. And then going there, if you were to describe it in 3 words, I would say it was exciting, because I love my job, I did. It was frightening. Hot. After being out, it was really hot there. Other than that, I can't really. You kind of do all your training. You train to deal with different situations and deal with the climate and the different culture of just being in a Middle Eastern country. I couldn't describe it to anybody unless anybody has actually been. You can't describe it. It's hard, because especially when you come home and you try and explain. The only thing you can explain is how hot it is, but you can't even do that really, because it is so hot, so demanding, and yeah, you've got all the physical side of it as well. You've got the mental side of it. Yeah, I mean, to me at the time it was just a job, but reflecting on it now, yeah, not a good place to be at all. Especially when you've come back and you've lost friends and colleagues, comrades, whether they're your best friend or whether they be someone who you've never spoke to, but they're in the same regiment, and that tight knit that everybody had was just unbelievable. And marching somebody in their coffin onto a plane, knowing that they're going to go back home with a family waiting for them, with a number of children and stuff, and it's not nice. And at the end of the day, it could have been anybody, it could have been anyone, have been me. But it wasn't. And, you know, I sit in with wearing medals, and which is all well and good. But the reality is, the person who is no longer alive and they've left families behind and children and stuff, and they really don't know what's going on, then they can't wear their medals with pride because, well, they're not here, you know. And it was hard for me and everybody else in the regiment to sort of deal with that. But at the end of the day, their families are a lot more worse off than what we are, you know. So I'm glad I'm here, but I'm really not glad that, you know, stuff's happened to other people, and I don't know, it's hard to describe it.
So even though